Today on Public Eye News, a West Bloomfield man is sentenced for illegally selling cancer drugs. But first, the Michigan Public Service Commission is holding a hearing on DTE Electric's data center application.
Coming up, Jacob Heston will have your weather forecast where we'll look at conditions later in the week. Later, Tayon Croft will have today's sports breakdown. I'm Emma Maratz.
And I'm Liam Yulin-Joy. This is Public Eye News. The Michigan Public Service Commission is looking for public comment regarding a new data center in Washtenaw County. The commission will be holding a public hearing next month to discuss DTE Electric's 1.4 gigawatt energy contracts with the center. The MPSC says it plans to review the contract for reasonableness and prudence. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel has questioned the value of the upcoming hearing, saying, quote, "This alone would amount to little more than performative listening rather than thorough public scrutiny," unquote. The hearing will take place on December 3rd from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Members of the public may join by clicking the meeting's Microsoft Teams link available on the MPSC website. And a bill to designate part of US 41 as a memorial highway for a fallen U.S. Army specialist has passed the Michigan House. Representative Dave Preston of Cedar River introduced the motion. He represents the 108th District of the Michigan House, which covers 5 different counties in the Upper Peninsula, including Menominee, where fallen Army specialist David Anthony Wilkie Jr. was from. Wilkie was killed in the line of duty while serving in Baghdad in 2007. He was posthumously awarded the Bronze Star and Purple Heart. The new House Bill 4351 by Representative Preston will rename part of US 41 in his honor. The section of road is located just south of Powers, the small town where Wilkie grew up.
As frost settles in on the Upper Peninsula, the Michigan State Police are reminding drivers of ways to avoid accidents on the road. The MSP says to set your fan to high and the defrost setting, and make sure that your windshield is completely clear before starting your journey on the road. Additionally, check the tread on your tires and make sure they're filled with enough air. This week is also Crash Responder Safety Week, where the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning is putting out reminders about how to keep crash responders safe. Use caution and move over when driving past an accident or crash, and be aware of emergency personnel working on the sides of roads. Emergency personnel include police officers, emergency medical services, tow trucks, and public works. The state of Michigan announced that more than 50,000 children are enrolled in its Pre-K for All program. The Michigan Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential says that this number surpassed last year's participation by over 9,000. This program is free for all Michigan residents, no matter the income level. Families who participate in Pre-K for All are estimated to save over $14,000 in child care costs. The state budget has allocated money for schools to have free breakfast and lunches, so families do not have to worry about if their children will go hungry while at school. There is still time for families to enroll their 4-year-old in Head Start or Pre-K for All, developmental kindergarten, or early childhood special education. Depending on the area, full-time and part-time programs are offered. Tensions are running high in the streets of Dearborn. Shouting, shoving, and punches were thrown as anti-Islam activists clashed with pro-Muslim counter-protesters in the heart of the city. Heath Caleb of CBS News Detroit has the details.
That's not what America looks like!
Anti-Islam demonstrators clashed with counter-protesters Tuesday in one of America's most Muslim cities, as a group of a few dozen marched towards Dearborn City Hall, shouting Islamophobic rhetoric.
How are they coming to us and saying that we're all about division, we're all about Sharia law? They're coming here giving us nothing but hatred.
The dueling demonstrations all stem from when Anthony Hudson, a Republican candidate for governor, falsely said that there was Sharia law in Dearborn. He later walked back those statements.
If we're going to bring these people together, then we need to lead by example and come down here, put boots on the ground, walk with these people, and show that we can come together.
Hudson led a march with supporters of his advocating for his slogan, Fix Michigan. But it was another group of demonstrators, not condoned by Hudson, on that same route that stirred the pot.
We don't respect you. We want you out of our country.
That man, Jake Lang, is not from Michigan and is currently running for office in his home state, Florida. He was also pardoned by President Donald Trump for his involvement during the January 6th riot. Tuesday night, he attempted to burn a Quran and then taunt counter-protesters with bacon. A heavy police presence kept an eye on the dueling protests. We did see one person being led away in cuffs, and we're working to find out what, if any, charges he'll face. Now, other counter-protesters we spoke to told us that they hope what happened here today sheds some light on what they're calling hateful demonstrations from people outside of Dearborn who are mischaracterizing this city. Reporting here in Dearborn, Heath Caleb, CBS News Detroit.
Don't touch that dial. Jacob Heston has your weather report when we return.
Tonight on the American Revolution, Brandywine, Germantown, and Saratoga.
This was not just a military defeat, it was a psychological blow.
Native peoples are divided.
We're killing each other. For what?
And the strategy of a general.
Washington doesn't have to win. He only has not to lose.
When the American Revolution continues. Tonight at 8/7 Central.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. My name is Jacob Heston with your weather report. Let's take a look at our campus map today. It's looking a little bit gray out. We've got a few people walking around. It is a really nice temperature outside. It's deceptive here on the campus. Cam doesn't show how beautiful it is, but it really is a nice day. As we move in a little bit towards our map, we're going to look at Houghton with 41 degrees. A little bit of clouds coming in there. Same thing here on Ironwood, 40 degrees, a little sun poking through. Take a trip down south a little bit. You got Ironwood at 41, same kind of thing going on up there, and Menominee at 39 with a little bit of sun. Now, if we move our way over to the other side of the map here, we've got Escanaba, 39 degrees and a little bit of clouds. Almost similar here in Manistee, we got 43, sun's poking through a little bit. Sault Ste. Marie, 39, lots of clouds over there. And then finally, it is beautiful in Marquette, beautiful and bright, just like the future of my 7-3 Chicago Bears. Now, as we take a look more into the current temperatures of today, it is 37 degrees right now with southwest winds moving at 9 miles an hour. Our barometric pressure is 30.17 inches and rising. And let's take a look at tonight. We've got mostly cloudy, 33 degrees. Going to be having southwest winds at 10 miles an hour, and our moon phase tonight is a waning crescent. As we push into tomorrow, we have a little bit of a chance of rain, high of 44 and a low of 32. We have southwest winds moving from 10 to 20 miles an hour. Going to be a windy night tomorrow. And as we look later into the week, Friday, 40 degrees with a low of 29. It's going to be quite the difference here between day and night. A little bit of sun that day as well. Saturday, 42 with a low of 35. Going to be same kind of conditions, sunny, a little bit of clouds. And then finally, as we get into Sunday, it's going to be 48 degrees with a low of 34. A little bit of sun coming in that day. And that seems to be all I have for the weather. Let's get back to the desk.
Well, thank you for that weather update, Jacob. We're seeing the sort of conditions that makes you want to take a nice fall jaunt. I certainly look forward to doing that. But now it's time for a look at some statewide news. A West Bloomfield man has been sentenced to 18 months in prison for illegally selling cancer drugs. United States Attorney Jerome F. Gorgon Jr. announced the sentencing of Dr. Naveed Aslam for his involvement in a multi-million-dollar scheme to illegally sell and divert prescription cancer medication. According to court records, Aslam used his oncology practice to acquire drugs from legitimate suppliers before selling them to buyers through a co-conspirator. The scheme lasted from 2019 to 2023. The investigation that uncovered it was led by multiple federal agencies, including the FBI and the FDA. Gorgon will have 42 days to appeal his sentence. And there is major news from another federal institution this week as the Education Department is set to defer some of its main offices and responsibilities to other agencies. Components of the department could soon be under the jurisdiction of the Secretary of Labor, Secretary of the Interior, and other officials. The move is part of President Donald Trump's agenda to dismantle the Department of Education, which he calls overrun with liberal thinking. In March, the department laid off around half of its staff, a move which was upheld by the Supreme Court this summer. The new move to break off parts of the Education Department notably does not affect accreditation, which allows colleges and universities to accept students' federal financial aid. And a bill to release the Epstein files is expected to land on the president's desk today, following both the House and Senate votes for its approval. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Epstein survivor Annie Farmer told CBS Morning she's hopeful for transparency, one day after she and other victims gathered on Capitol Hill to celebrate legislation that will compel the Department of Justice to release all unclassified Epstein documents within 30 days.
I think that there's a lot of information in there about not only that we haven't heard before, that we
have not heard before.
Yeah.
In terms of names of people that not only participated in these crimes, but the people that enabled the crimes.
The bill moved faster than expected, passing the House with all but one member voting in favor. Then almost immediately, the Senate agreed to the bill with unanimous consent.
The Senate has now passed the Epstein bill.
President Trump said this week he would sign the bill into law, but continues to accuse Democrats of trying to deflect.
And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax.
The president also ordered a new investigation into Epstein's alleged ties with prominent Democrats, which has some lawmakers concerned the DOJ could use the probe to delay the release of files.
The FBI director, the DOJ, Pam Bondi, they would be criminally liable. This is why we climbed the steep hill.
Already, tens of thousands of documents have been released following subpoenas by the House Oversight Committee. In one email, Epstein claimed Trump knew about the girls, which the president has repeatedly denied. The documents also reveal direct correspondences between Epstein and former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who announced this week he's stepping back from public activities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Don't go anywhere. Taeyeon has everything going on in the world of sports right after this short break.
We're here in Washington to find out what comes next.
Donald Trump won re-election, promising to reduce illegal immigration.
The Republicans will have a majority. Will that really solve America's migrant crisis?
Not only at home, but around the world.
They're preparing for what might be coming.
Our correspondents give you the full story.
We're now hearing several explosions after an evacuation warning.
For a global perspective, join us on BBC World News America.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Tayon Crawford, and I'll be giving you the latest rundown on sports. The postseason has been a common occurrence for NMU sports this fall, with the women's volleyball team earning the 3 seed in the GLIAC tournament. They'll host the 6-seeded Parkside Rangers tonight at 6. The Wildcats finished the regular season with a 12-4 record after getting off to a 1-9 start. Northern also has a slight edge. They're 8-1 at home, while Parkside is 3-6 on the road. Mackenzie Gruner was recently named the GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week with 33 kills, 6 digs, and 7 blocks over the weekend. The Wildcats will look to push their 4-game winning streak to 5 games later this evening. Speaking of winning streaks, the NMU's women's basketball team looks to keep theirs going as well. The 5-0 Wildcats are nationally ranked 15th in the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. It's their highest ranking since the 1997-98 season. Talk about making history, I wasn't even born yet. Northern will finally get their first weekend of play at home, making their debut this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. against the St. Cloud State Huskies, and will play Minnesota Duluth Friday at the same time. The Cats have been very dominant to start the season. They beat Upper Iowa last weekend by 55 points. Probably had some popcorn at halftime as well. Be at the Vanderbilt Arena tomorrow to cheer your Wildcats to another victory. Hot streaks seem to be a common theme for teams across the state of Michigan. The Detroit Pistons are on their longest win streak in 18 years. I was in grade school the last time this happened. They are currently winners of 11 straight games. After defeating the Atlanta Hawks Tuesday night, who are on a 5-game winning streak of themselves, Detroit moves to 13-2 on the season. They have the best record in the Eastern Conference and the second best record in the league. Tears of joy for Pistons fans, myself included, especially the ones who endured the 28-game losing streak 2 years ago. Now they have a team led by Cade and them, and others who embody the Detroit versus everybody culture. Side note, the Chicago Bears are a fraudulent division leader. That's all I have for sports today. Back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Taeyeon, for that sports update. 11 straight wins for the Detroit Pistons. Can you believe it, Liam?
It's unbelievable, Emma. But I hear you have one more story for us today.
I do. If you need some good puppy cuddles, head down to Jamridge Hall on November 20th for the Wild Pups Animal-Assisted Therapy. All the pups are registered therapy dogs. This event is from 5 to 6:30 p.m. and is taking place right next to the Starbucks in Jamridge. You can learn more about the Wild Pups on the NMU Wellbeing website.
And that's all the time we have left today at Public Eye News. I'm Liam Yulin-Joy.
And I'm Emma Mraz.
And we'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.